What's the secret ingredient in this cotton candy cake? You're not going to believe it. I'm Christina from It Is a Keeper, and I share tried and true recipes that anyone can make. I believe if you can read, you can cook. Welcome to my kitchen. Today, I'm showing you how to make this super fun cotton candy cake. Kids go bonkers for it. Now make sure you stay tuned to the end to learn my favorite variations to switch it up. And be sure to grab the full printable recipe in the video description below. This cake is so easy. It's a semi-homemade cake, which are really my favorites to do. So it starts with a boxed cake mix, and I'm just using a standard white cake. Whoops, and the bag came out. Standard white box cake mix. But what I love about this is we're not using the ingredients on the back of the box. Even easier. To this, we are going to add our secret ingredient, which is, ta-da, cream soda. Yep, just regular cream soda. Now, there is a type of soda called cotton candy soda. If you can find it, grab that. That's the best for this recipe because the color's right and everything. I couldn't find cotton candy soda in my neck of the woods, so I am using cream soda. Same flavor, you get that vanilla-y deliciousness. It works perfectly. And then to this, we are going to add some blue food coloring. So I found that about 15 drops works for me. Okay, but it's definitely one of those things you can adjust as you go. So start with less and build it up to more till you get the blue that you want. And then we're just going to mix this for about 2 minutes using a hand mixer. All right, that looks pretty good. Anybody want some beaters? Always the best part when you're a kid, right? Even if you're not a kid, they're still the best part. All right, so I'm just gonna get all this extra batter off here. Okay, and then I like to give it one last twirl with the spatula just to make sure we got all of the pockets of dry mix from the bottom and sides. Now I'm pretty happy with this blue color. If you want it more vibrant, feel free to add more. Just remember that add a little more because as it bakes, the color will fade a little bit. So depending on how vibrant you want it, and gel food coloring actually is more vibrant than the drops that I use. So keep that in mind. The different types of food coloring may have different variations in the color. But because we didn't add all the ingredients from the back of the box, this batter is kind of thick, and that's perfectly okay. So we are going to get this into our cake pan and continue with the recipe. So I have my 13 by 9 cake dish. Now I did spray this with nonstick cooking spray. You could also grease it and flour it, whichever you prefer. I'm lazy. I sprayed it with the baking spray. So we're good. Now we're gonna transfer our batter into our baking dish. I told you it's thick. Kids just love this cake. I think it's like the fun colors and it's different, but it's so easy. All right, then just smear it around, spread it out into an even layer. Perfect. Now we're gonna pop this into a 350-degree oven, and you're going to cook it according to the package directions, which is about like 15-20 minutes, but just read the package directions on how long to bake it. So while our cake is baking, we're going to get a jump start on the frosting. Now, normally I would make a homemade buttercream for this recipe, but today what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna doctor up some canned frosting. But I do have the full printable recipe for the homemade buttercream included with the cotton candy cake, so feel free to do whichever option you choose. No judgment from me, I'm using the store-bought. But we're gonna doctor it up a bit, and what we're gonna do is carry through that cotton candy flavor by cooking down some of our cream soda, or cotton candy soda, whichever you found. So I'm just going to put this into a saucepan. I'm gonna bring it to a light boil, and we're gonna cook it down till it gets a little bit thicker and a little more syrupy. Okay, so remember I told you we are kind of zhuzhing this frosting recipe. So I'm using just plain old white frosting. We're gonna transfer that to a bowl. We're gonna doctor it though. Beautiful. Okay, to our white frosting, we are going to add that reduced soda. So either you have your reduced soda, or you know what, they do make a cotton candy flavoring. You could sub that in here too. I just use a soda because I bought it for the cake, so I just thought I'd carry that through. Entirely up to you. All about variation, right? Then we're going to add some blue food coloring. So I'm gonna start with 4 drops. Let's see where this gets us. And we can always adjust as needed. So I'm going to get my mixer going, get some of this frosting off my spatula, and whip it all up. Perfect. That is perfect. So take that out, bring the spatula back in, just do the last minute stirs by hand, just making sure the bottom is fully combined. Now, the soda shouldn't water your frosting down too much. It will make it a little more thin, but it will set up as we let this cool, because we're waiting for our cake to cool. Our cake did come out of the oven. You'll notice it's here behind me cooling. So we're just gonna let everything hang out for a little while before we frost it. I'm gonna pop this frosting into the fridge, let it do its thing, become a little firmer, and then we are going to cover up our cotton candy cake. Okay, so we have our cooled cake, cool to the touch. If we put the frosting on hot cake, it's gonna melt. So you wanna make sure your cake is completely cooled. So we're just going to take, look at how pretty it is. Let me stop and take a moment to show that. Look at how pretty blue this is. So it's like a robin's egg blue, right? So then we're gonna take our blue frosting, and I love cakes like this where I don't have to be precise. I can just smear it all on there. Okay, last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make it super fun. I'm gonna add some of these fun sprinkles to the top of our cake. I know it's not on cotton candy, but come on. Whoops. Make sure you fling them all over your kitchen too when you do it. It makes cleanup that much more fun. Alrighty, look at that. A little more. Beautiful. Before we dig in though, I want to share some of my favorite variations. The first thing you can do is mix up the colors. So try swapping out the blue for pink. Or what you can do is divide your batter in half before you add your food coloring. Make half of it blue, half of it pink, pour it into the same cake pan and swirl it together, right? That way you have the best of both worlds, half pink, half blue, a nice little swirl. You could do the same with the frosting, just twirl it in there and swirl it around. Perfect way to do that. The other thing you can do to really jazz up this cake is add on frosting spray. So these are fun. It's like aerosol spray. They have all different kinds. They even have a glitter one. Now, how much fun would that be? So before we go any further, I'm digging in to give this a try. I'm gonna take this piece right out of the corner here. Ooh, it's nice and spongy. All right. We'll go in, you know the first piece never comes out pretty. Look at that pretty blue that we have there. Going in for a bite. Oh, so good. It's so tender. Ooh, you could taste the flavoring. It really comes through. That cream soda. And you guys saw how easy this was to make. A couple pantry ingredients, whip it all up together, a little bit of cream soda, and you have a totally fun cake. There are so many great semi-homemade cake recipes out there. I have a fantastic cherry lime cake recipe that is super moist and tender. You don't want to miss it. You can check it out here. I'll see you over there.